Hello, everybody. Welcome to another recorded video. This must be another in streaks of recorded videos. I am the ever-present, constantly there, Southside. Joining me today are two of my friends. One of them you might have seen in the Sound Voltex League. Hello, say hello to Nagisa. And
Hello.
two blocks below me is my good friend Mr. Kaiden Singapore Wisely. Hello, Wisely.
What up?
Okay, so we know what we're all here for. It's the BPL Season 3 draft. This draft actually happened like a month ago. I unfortunately have been dealing with a lot of like personal and school related things, so I kept putting it off. Actually, I already had this plan 2 weeks after the draft, but I kept shifting it off. And the BPL is actually starting in 2 weeks, like on the 12th. It's gonna be very, very exciting. I'm gonna be doing coverage too. So we're gonna probably start with like the rule changes is BPL. So actually, because there's gonna be some changes within the BPL per season. BPL S2 wasn't, I wouldn't say was a perfect format, and it's open to a lot of improvement, I would say. So now there's gonna be basically it's quite similar. There's gonna be teams who will be there's gonna be two leagues. Actually, before it was just a combined league, right? Like it was from top to bottom, just all the leagues, and then like the bottom two out of all the matches will get eliminated. Now, in I guess just interests of time and such, they've chopped the league into two leagues. So it's not so in BPL season 2, Tom Voltex and DDR, it is the left league and the right league, right? So now that has become the B League, which is the Black League, and the W League, the White League. I have no idea why they've done this personally. L and R also makes sense too, but let's just keep going with that. So yeah, it's gonna be top three. The top three teams will be the top three teams in each league will be advancing to the playoffs, which is the quarterfinals, and then the second and third place will be facing off. Will be facing off in the quarterfinals. The winner of that will be go to semifinals. The first place of each league will get an instant bye to the semifinals. So the semifinals will face so the first place in the Black League and the White League will have to face people the winning team in the quarterfinals, and and then one semifinals match again. They'll go to a final match, which will traditionally be streamed live. So yeah, it's pretty similar to what we had to BPLS actually, if you think about it again. But now there's the part about leagues. So now it won't be like one team it won't be like everyone will be fighting every single team. It'll be they've already been decided into which league. So 4 teams are in the Black League and 4 teams are in the White League. The matches will only happen in between them. So it's a round robin group stage kind of thing. So yeah. And then the rules are still pretty similar in the regular stage. It'll be three matches, 1v1. I believe it's like, but I think the biggest distinction this time is that the one of the pools has changed. So now there's Trend. Now there's a pool called Trend. So it's just exclusively songs from like songs from Resident. So we won't see so this is, I guess, just to promote like the new content within the game and such. So I personally feel like this is just them wanting to showcase more of the card version. So you guys of course know Cathedral of Sin, right? Zaika. That's not gonna be in Softland. That's gonna be in Trend.
That
Are you
still
good?
doesn't.
Yeah. Sorry, what were you about to say? Wait, what were you about to say, Nagisa?
Oh, me, yeah.
Yeah.
That doesn't help with like the really small song pool for Softland for Tens and Willows, honestly
It,
speaking.
it actually doesn't help anything.
It doesn't help, man.
And
Like,
they've been reviving like the songs like one by one, right? So recently we got Mind the
oh yeah,
Gap.
we got fun the other day, so I guess that Softland as well.
I actually thought, yeah, they're just like, okay, so the Softland pool is gonna be bigger, and then like, oh, now you see this one big song, Yo-Yo 2, basically, and then that's gonna be part of like the new Softland pool, right? And then no, I think that's gonna be part of the Trend pool,
Yeah.
And I think I heard also that now every team can only pick a song once, basically. So you won't be able to pick a song multiple times throughout the tourney. So I think from your campaign, even if you reach the finals, like Your entire campaign, you can basically only pick each song once, which I think is a good change too. They were just
But
getting too many like JoJo battles and
but JoJo Battles is like not how to say it wasn't like the same team picking JoJo again, right? It
It
was
wasn't the
like
same thing picking JoJo, but like no, I think in the later stages they would pick JoJo in like the regular stage, maybe in the second stage, another JoJo picked by them, but maybe from a different player.
was it?
I think they discourage players from making the same picks all the time, but not within the team. But now
Actually,
it's like
wisely you got like remember any of this case now? Because personally, I really cannot remember any of like the previous seasons where this um thing happened where the same team picked the same song 2 times.
I think it will have to depend on the draw for categories, especially like for say level 8 to 10 softland, where you have like what 5 songs. In those cases, like I mean, if you pick JoJo, you have that's 20% of your song pool that you can't pick anymore. So I think that's a really edge case where it might come into play. But I think other than that, I'm pretty sure most players have more than one pocket pick per category. So
Yeah.
I don't think it makes much of a difference.
yeah, like some people are good at JoJo, like maybe Koribe, Unamune or something like that. And then it's like these people have these are not the only picks. Like Unamune can pick Watch Out or some shit like that if ever happens too. So, but I think there's just enough songs in 2DX already that this won't really happen anymore. So I think actually limiting the team to just picking the song once throughout the entire tourney is actually pretty fun. And they won't, and because there's one extra song pool to consider, which is the trend that I'm showing here, it's gonna like they won't get like 8 to 10 softline like twice. I imagine. Imagine that though, Jesus Christ! But
It did get picked. They did pull level 8 to 10 softland a lot last season. So if that happens again, it might affect things. But
oh wait, the charts for the trend pool will overlap with the pool for other teams. So interesting. So basically,
Actually-
that kind of just supersedes everything, right?
Actually, what are you two thoughts on like the trend pool? Because
It
because to me, right, like I'm mostly a level 10 and below player.
Mhm.
Like other than like JoJo Part 2, right? Like all the other 10s and belows have been feeling quite
easy, right?
yeah, it's not like there's nothing like too spectacular about it. It's not like I don't like the songs, it's like the charts itself are like quite cookie cutter level 10s.
I personally feel it's more like it's I do see the marketing standpoint here. I think they want to represent the game. They want to represent like the current version more because traditionally the meta picks are just stuff that you've probably seen a million times before, or maybe they're just like old songs that nobody really particularly cares to think about. But I do think it doesn't really obfuscate the pool that much, but it doesn't obfuscate the sense of competition much. But I do think it's added purely for like just the marketing standpoint. Just the hey, these songs are in the game. You can play this new Toriana song you probably would really like to play because it sounds really good. Something like that. I don't know. You feel like do you feel that way, Wisely? I don't know.
I think in term from the marketing standpoint, sure. But I think it also depend on how up to date the song pool will be like, right? Like, is it just going to be resident default songs? Is it going to include BPL tourism songs? Yeah, I'm not. If it's going to be up to date, I think from the perspective of the competition, it'd be much more interesting with the newer, especially the newer 11s and 12s. If it's just a default song list, I'm not sure how much of like what Xavier said, a lot of the charts are pretty cookie cutter.
I see. Well,
I'm not
yeah,
sure
it is
how
pretty,
much,
pretty
yeah.
simple. It's all pretty simple. Like everything's been maxing. People have just been maxing them like it's candy. They unlock in the max. Like Starship Virga. You remember the Reflect Big crossover? That's like a max. That's like a max bait song and all that. And then, but
Oh,
yeah. Sorry.
Talking about like max stuff, right? Like, I think like this week's weekly ranking, right? I think like Platinum was like top 20, is it, wisely? Or
Top 10.
Top 10. I think I remember seeing a tweet somewhere that say like if you get more than -2, you're out of plat for this week's weekly. Which
That
is
was
like,
for last week's.
oh, it's not this week's one. Shonan Lonely Midnight Rail.
No.
No, Shonan is
not-
hard. Shonan is hard.
Really? Man? Shonan got that hard? I think Shonan quite easy.
It's not it's just big chords in bursts. It's bursts. into
It's
big chords.
it's easy up to like say max -30 or
Oh.
max -20, and then from
Okay.
there it gets really hard because of there are like a bunch of 24ths which
Oh.
make things a bit harder.
Okay. So
And then-
what
yeah.
was last week's song? Was it like Wanna Be a Bad Girl or something?
Yeah,
It's wanna be a bad girl, and that's max -2. Yeah, that's yeah. If you max -2,
Yeah,
you're
that
dead.
was quite funny. Yeah.
You're dead. You're dead. You're dead. And yeah, this is another thing that's been added to the tourney. The first stage, there's gonna be 2 stages of the tournament, right? I guess. And wait, first stage, second stage. I wonder. Oh, so this is just basically, I think, Group A, and Group B. This is just like the Group A and Group B stuff, you know. Like the first match is gonna be 8-10, 8-10, 10-11, 8-10. Then mid will be 10, and then the final battle will be 11, and then this in the second battle it will be 8-10, 11 and 12, which I think actually really helped with the for season 2 BPL, because last time it was all 12 matches, and you know it's all just the classics. You know, you just pick stuff that's really really hard. But yeah, I think there was another change that was noted within the BPL. Oh yes, strategy cards cannot cancel each other out anymore.
Oh,
think
so
that's
what
very-
happens if like two teams can strategy cut each other?
It just randoms voted the songs.
Oh shit.
It just randoms voted the songs. I think it was good because how it was used last season was basically to not to mess up your opponent, it's to protect your own songs because of how it works.
Really? Man?
I feel like that's the strategy. I feel like that's like how they employ the strategy. It's purely just to protect your own songs instead of just messing up your opponent, because you know most of these players should be able to play like everything in the game. Maybe they just have some niche songs that they can play a lot better than everyone else. But and you know now in season 2 with how double strategy cards cancel each other out,
Mm.
you can just use that as a layer of protection from your own like song picks and such. So and in a way that kind of makes it a bit uninteresting. I think it's more interesting and more and it really really encourages you to think when to use your strategy card if it basically just randoms your opponent's pick instead of just protecting your own pick and such.
Really, man? Because like, I can't remember which interview. It wasn't the Kenta interview. It was like some other. I think it was like Nori. Like the Nori interview. Like he was like saying like, most teams the meta is that if you use strategy card, right, it's because you won't use strategy card in 2 scenarios. Either you're way better than the opponent or the opponent's way better than you. And then, because there's no point, what? Like why you use strategy card? No point. The only reason why you use strategy card, right, according to his words, right, and I think he was like saying like all the teams follow like the pretty much the same like idea, right, is that the skill level is about the same for that category. Then you want to randomize such that everyone's on a level playing field, but you are the advantage because you're assuming that the other guy didn't strategy cut you.
Mm-hmm.
So that means you have like a quite noticeable advantage when you use a strategy card. That's their mentality when they use strategy card. Not like what you say, like they are trying to protect their own pick. Yeah.
But that's like I think something that they tried out with it canceling each other out. But I think now I think they figured like, hey, it's probably better if we just randomize both the songs if they both pick a strategy card. Like, do you think the protecting because I saw that protecting your own pick meta from like another tweet also. I think it was made by one of the US players. I think it was Alex, I believe. So yeah, but yeah, do you think if that's the case too wisely, or is it just like?
I think there's how do I put this? When you use a strategy card, right?
That's right.
Yeah, like what Xavier said, like you want to use it when you're either like way better or way
No, you won't use it when you're way better or you're way weaker.
I'm not too sure about that actually. Based off the season, what we've seen in season 2, right? There is a case for using it like when you're way worse actually.
Oh, okay.
It's because essentially what you want to do is to you want to give your opponent something that you might be good at and they are not. Like you just catch them off guard with something. And I think that's one use case where you want to use it when you're like way worse. Way better, I don't know about that. You want to protect yourself from that happening essentially.
Basically, in insulating yourself from your song pick being like removed is one way to use a strategy card, I would say, because I think I think at some points you're not expecting to win. You're not expecting to win like both matches. You're just hoping that you at least can get some points from your match and you won't get like completely swept in a way.
Yeah.
And you know, changing the songs is just like a bonus, you know. But now with it being completely random, I think it encourages better usage, you know. Encourages like, hey, maybe I will not use it now just to guarantee points. It's more like, do I want to take the chance to fuck the whole thing up? Kind of like that.
Yeah, because now with the new changes, if both teams use a strategy card, I mean you are leaving it up to luck, but most likely that's where like your raw skill comes into play. Like on average, the better player will win if both teams use a strategy card.
I think it's a good way to put it. But yeah, I think it's an interesting change. Hopefully, it will lead to funny matches. Like, you know, I still remember in season 2 where Nori versus Fripp, and then like, I think it wasn't a cancel strategy card, but they basically used strategy card and it random to feel it, and then you know.
Yeah, the one everyone just wagon, man.
Everyone just like died. Everyone just like
everyone died live on stage, man.
live on stage. They both died. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think that's like the changes so far. I'll probably express the things, any additional changes on stream. But for now, we'll just probably go to what we were here for, the draft. So the draft happened. I believe it was. I completely forgot when the head draft happened. It was a month ago at this point, and now in 2 weeks time, we will see the recorded matches, because the matches were actually recorded a few days ago already. So we're gonna just be seeing like two matches. So for now, the players are just like continuing to practice, just continuing to interact, eating a shitload of Jiro ramen together. You know, the usual stuff you would do with the boys. And okay, so we see the leagues here, right? The Black League will consist of APINA VRAMeS, Season 1 champions, GiGO, Team GiGO, the Gaming Oasis, SUPERNOVA Tohoku, and TAITO Station Tradz. So from what we know the players already, we're gonna go in one by one, but I think this is a pretty rough league for like, I think it's gonna be rough for GiGO and Tohoku in a way. But like, you know, we could see stuff change, of course. We are pretty much just hoping for like the consistency more so than pure ability, because it's not where it's being evaluated here. And you know, and the W League is the other remaining 4. So the Game Panic, Silk Hat, the Season 2 champions Round 1, and Leisureland. So I think we're gonna be starting with like the teams with the B League, I believe. I don't know if you guys are seeing this right now. You guys are, I don't know if you guys are seeing my screen, but I guess it's like, yeah, I'm streaming it. But yeah, we're gonna start with the B League players first. The first team, APINA VRAMeS, Season 1 champion, Season 2 crushed in defeat in semis against GiGO, unfortunately. So now the interesting thing about Season 3 draft is that a lot of teams have changed up their strategy, and now we're gonna see Team APINA VRAMeS currently. They're gonna be the first guy on the team, draft number 1. Draft number 1 is Uchi, of course. He pretty much is gonna be Mr. APINA VRAMeS from now on, I assume. So he's gonna possibly just gonna stick on the team for as long as he could, unless, you know, the team decides to blow it up. The second drafted player here is the ace striker Willow, from, you know, famously from Team SUPERNOVA Tohoku. Now I think they kind of just like wanted to blow up their strategy, and so the interesting thing is that they didn't know. The interesting thing is that in the first and second round of the draft, right, you're supposed to like just throw in who you want to pick, and then if you pick someone even if like two teams pick a similar player, they will have to go to the luck of the draw to see which team will get them. in season 3 draft for 2DX, there was none of that. Legitimately no ties. It was purely all first selection. Their first selection was this, and they instantly got it. There was no ties at all. If you
Yeah,
notice.
I was like saying, I was like talking with the other the boys here. I was like
Uh-huh.
saying like it's quite surprising that some players wasn't being contested at all.
But there was zero contesting this BPL because
Yeah.
like, because like it only applies to first and second drafters, and there was none of that at all. So Willow,
Yeah, you
so
need
they got
to-
Willow, yeah.
I think it's a good thing. It's a good time to like say like how the draft for this season works, because it's actually different from the last 2 seasons as well.
It's really pretty interesting to see. But yeah, now they have the ace striker Willow, so now APINA gets a very very much needed density boost. I would say a guy who has served as one of the local rankers and such. And then the third player is a pretty tenured Bemani player. He was in the Drum Mania KC, I believe. At one point, his name is Chappie. He is the angry drummer, as he called himself. And then the last player in the APINA VRAMeS that they've actually retained is the wise commander of counterattack himself, Ken Tan, which is surprising. I thought like he would be replaced, but I feel like Ken Tan is you know how some teams saw Nori in the BPL, right? I feel APINA sees Ken Tan as their own kind of thing, and he can play like easy songs, so that's probably why they decided to keep him. So it was it they if you notice that they lost Nikkei and Shiro. I don't know whether Chappie Willow is pretty proven, but I don't know whether Chappie would be the good third guy here. What do you guys think actually? Maybe start from you, Nagisa.
Okay. So the only time I see him sort of play was in like I think it's a Dolce stream. It's either Dolce stream or Dinosaur stream. Basically, he picked and it's only one time he picked Digitank system.
the only
got
the only
second.
scratch song he can play, I think he has max -7 or something.
Yeah, no, it's like he's really consistent, because I think in that room it was like Dolce / Dinosaur,
Yeah.
then it was him,
There
then it
one
was
else.
Cyril, and then was one last guy, and it was another like BPL guy, and he got second. Sheppy got second on Digitank.
That's interesting actually. which
Yeah,
is
so
why-
he's actually, I guess he's pretty solid at timing. I guess that's what it means, right? Like
his pin
if you are
kit
really
is-
good at Digitank system,
yeah,
you're really good at like
steady
timing,
yeah,
timing scratches, timing.
yeah, steady button timing and all
Yeah,
that.
yeah, correct. Am I right to say that now, wisely?
Yes, I think Chappie is very good at timing 11s and under. Played him in arena a couple of times. I think essentially, like if you ever follow him on Twitter, he's posting like a new banks every other day on like 9s and 10s. He's
Yeah.
very good at timing. I'm not sure what his ability is like on 12s, especially like the high tier 12s, or the really weird to time stuff, but definitely for straightforward things, straightforward charts. A good pick, I think. Yeah.
It's a good pick, but yeah, do you think Willow and Chappie are enough to bring APINA back? Maybe because Uchi is ridiculous right now. He did fall apart during the GiGO match, but that's only like one match out of many, and that time, and I would say Uchi has already been pretty steady as a competitor. So I just feel like it's a good team, but you know they're in kind of like the group of death right here, which is pretty scary. You guys think APINA could have what it takes to make it to the end?
I do think they have a really solid chance of making it out of quarters. Actually, honestly speaking, I do think that they definitely can. No matter which team they face, even if they're like fourth and then they face the first team on the other side, right? They can make it out of quarters. They're that good enough, I think.
You feel the same, Wesley?
I do think amongst the 8 teams, APINA is probably the most well-rounded right now.
Interesting take, because yeah, I thought I was a bit worried about Uchi personally, but recently he's been getting better, and then now it's like he's pretty scary. I saw the Arena Cup and he just picked his own song, and then his pick he just destroyed everyone, even Yutaka.
Yeah, I think Uchi is pretty much top ranker right now. Maybe he wasn't like during season 1, but I think since then he's made a lot of improvements. Then you have Willow. Willow is pretty much top ranker as well.
Mr. God Pinky himself.
Mr. God Pinky,
Yeah.
Mr. Gachi.
Yeah, so I think like in terms of 11s and 12s, they are pretty much set. I don't see a situation where they are going to be cornered on any 11s or 12s.
Just because of chat.
Maybe the scratch songs? Maybe?
Scratch,
Because, yeah, maybe the scratch songs. Because all the other teams have like someone who's like
But there's chat.
significantly better than Uchi and Willow at scratch. Maybe there? But even then also, that's like a 50-50 kind of like bet, like, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think then you have Chappie who rounds out the 9s and 10s. Kentan, I feel like he serves a purpose other than playing on this team. Like, if you know what I mean.
He's the it's like how Nori was picked, you know.
Like-
I would say.
Yeah, I think he does serve a purpose. Like, probably brings the team together. And I mean, he's no slouch when it comes to timing as well.
Yeah,
So-
if it's like 8
Yeah.
to 10, I could put him and I wouldn't be kind of scared they would lose. That's the thing. That's fine. He's still pretty good. Him versus Kuray is still tied, by the way, and it's Kuray. Yeah. Okay. So this is pretty. Yeah. So this is a team that has changed quite a bit from what we've seen. We have lost the Iceman of APINA VRAMeS. He is going to be the Iceman of some other team, which will be going slowly. So now we're going to be going to the second team, the football team, the Gaming Oasis, GiGO. So I would say that there's pretty much no change here. They've retained their entire squad of consisting of give me a moment please, I'm messing up my thing. Okay, so they have their full squad of Corve, Nuccio, CyberX, and Loot. So so I think they really like their squad. I think they didn't expect to reach semis with this squad, but like at the same, so I guess they just wanted to put their faith in it. And Corve has gotten a lot better. Nuccio is crazy.
Nuccio got better.
Nuccio got a lot
so
better.
much better.
Nuccio's a
After
lot
the
better.
season ended, and then like between the previous season and now, got so much better, man. What the heck?
So much better. So
Yeah.
so the team consists of
crazy,
the
man.
Holy Key, Corve, from third draft in BPL season 1 to the team captain in season 2. He is continuing his role here. I don't know how to translate Tamashi no Udeoshi or something, but
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
Nuccio. But basically, it's like he's just really good at pressing big shit. So it's like chords, you know. The third draft, CyberX, the timing machine born in Yokohama, and the last guy. There is no end to the Bemani Road, as he claims. It's Loot. So, yeah, this is the one big thing I always get worried about this team is that there's no density main here. It's all timers, I would say. It's all like Corve can cover Soflan and scratching, but like everyone else like Nuccio, CyberX, and Loot, they're all timers. So I don't know if they have the X factor to outright win the tournament here. My evaluation's kind of the same. Everyone's gotten better, but like my evaluation still feels the same. They don't have the big density guy to carry them over, but I don't know if that's their aim too in a way. Not really sure. Do you guys feel the same way?
I don't think so actually. Like they're all timers, but they all have like sort of like quote unquote they are like pocket pick that they can win with, that can win anyone with. Like all four of them actually have like some song which is like that. Depending on the category of course, but all four of them actually have like that sort of song. Like they're all timers, but they have that song where they are noticeably way better than everyone else.
That's true. It could be guaranteed points, but like not
like-
all outright victory, I guess. I don't know.
I think Loot is like really good on like Shoujo Alice or something like that. Loot is like super consistent on that song.
Yeah.
And CyberX is a god on do it.
CyberX goes.
CyberX is actually a god on do it, man.
Nuccio is
Then-
just anything. Nuccio is just anything with chords. You put him anything with
Yeah.
chords, it's fine.
Then Corrive is like Okay. This one, okay, Korea is actually a funny one. Okay, so the last season, I was like following like GiGo's like mainstream and like talking and shit, right? So there was a story back in the GiGo stream, right? Where they're talking about like how they introduce themselves. Then Korea just straight up said like, if it's I will cover anything that's a scratch song or due tomorrow.
I remember he had the Do Tomorrow video in his fucking channel and he plays it pretty consistently.
He's that is like introduction during like their like sort of like their orientation stage before season 2 last season 2. Like the other three of them was like, yeah, Korea straight out to us, I'll cover all the scratch songs plus due tomorrow. Yeah. So
And, you know,
like I said, like all four of them, yeah, true. I think what you say is true. Yeah, all four of them mainly timers, but all four of them also have like some crazy good like pocket pick that they can beat anyone in their own like category.
so yeah, like Korea's a Dika now, you know. He can play that as good as Dolce now. So
He's better than Dolce at the song. So.
No, Dolce got it back, but then Dolce had to
Dolce
grind
got
a
it back,
bit.
yeah. Oh shit.
Dolce got it back already, and yeah. So yeah,
shit.
honestly, you feel the same way about GiGo. I see why they would want to retain their team, but I don't know if they have that X factor to win the entire thing. That's what I think.
I think with, especially for the regular stage, right? There's actually not much focus on 12s and like really dense song. So I think they have a pretty good chance of making it out actually.
Making out, yes, but I'm just wondering if they have the X factor to stay. That's a really like confusing thing to me. Like, this team is good. I like this team. I just don't know if they can win the finals.
I think Corrive and Lucio are seasoned enough to perform at any time. I do think they are consistent enough to make it out. So it really depends on how the other teams perform, to be honest.
Yeah, if they perform better, then I would say that's it. So
I guess it's also like highly depends on like what categories they draw during like their key matches, right? Like
Yep.
pretty much.
obviously you want like against for GiGo to win, you obviously like want like your final song, like during the quarters
Category,
and like your
final
semis category, your final category, you want to be something like soft land scratch or something like that.
So fun scratch or like chord, because at least Lucio can probably get 2 points or something.
Yeah. Something like that. You don't want like full on notes, then neutral just struggle and die against a Uchi or
If
something.
peak, you just pick Quakes, then you win. I'm kidding.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. Like their team is like quite highly dependent on like what the categories are, but most of their bases are covered, I would say.
I would say, yeah, they have what it takes to get up. I just don't know if they have the X factor to win, which is what I'm considering entirely. But yeah, I guess that's it for GiGo for now. So we will be moving on to third team in Group B, Supernova Tohoku. What is this team, ladies and gentlemen? I was so confused when I was watching the draft. So they completely blew up their team, which is like, you know, Tohoku has always had like the biggest brain strategies in drafting, in like in selection and all that. So I was actually not surprised to see them enacting a pretty odd strategy to pick, but like this is so weird to me. So okay, so we're gonna be naming the players here. So they've reached the semifinals 2 seasons in a row, which is pretty impressive for like a team that no one really like considered much, I would say, because it's such a small arcade chain that's not really known to people outside of Japan, I would say. So, you know, maybe this will be the time for them, but I'm not really sure. So we're gonna go with the players here. First draft, the dual wielder Tatsu from the third draft pick to Tradz to a first draft pick in Tohoku. He's now effectively the team captain, and that's pretty crazy. The second player, the stable compass, the Iceman of APINA VRAMeS is now the Iceman of Supernova Tohoku. It's Nikkei. And the third draft is the new kid in the block. He's started in Rootage and now he's like already BPL tier. The Walt of Ibaraki, it's Takwan. And the final man, also part of VRAMeS. Basically, Tohoku bought like the clearance sale from APINA VRAMeS, and now it's gonna be the Citadel, Shiro. I don't know, man. This is like, we have noted that there's gonna be an emphasis on 11s in the first stage and all that. So this team makes a lot of sense if they just want to reach past there. And then like, but you know, it's kind of the same thing with GiGO. Like, I know Shiro is super good at density. He is basically the Mr. 12, and Tatsu is just. I don't know what he's been doing, but he basically just became a second drafter or a second drafter overnight after joining Tradz. But like not a first draft player, so I was really really shocked to see him going first. But now it's gonna be this team right here. I feel like this is a strong team to contend on like the first stage, but to regular stage. But past that, I'm also not sure. I have the same feeling with GiGO, but like at the same time we have Shiro here. But Shiro didn't really get to play that much 12s, and the only time he got to play at 12, he fought Yutaka, which is yeah. So yeah, I just don't know about this team. It looks very very interesting. I'm happy to see some of these players get to show off their stuff in the new team. But like, what do you guys think? I don't know. It's so weird to me.
What do you think, YC? I mean, I have my own thoughts. I think I was like talking about it with you when the draft came out. So you say what you thought.
We did discuss this a bit, and we did agree
Yeah.
we see the strategy that's going on, but are they trying to go all the way here? Because I'm not really sure.
Yeah. YC, you can, if you remember what you said the last time, you can repeat it, I guess.
I don't remember what I said last time. I do think Tatsu is a lot better now than he was last season. He has gotten world records on 9s, 10s, 11s.
Everything, just a bit of everything, I guess.
He is extremely good at stretch, like now.
Right.
I think he's actually a very solid first pick. Like on par with I wouldn't say on par with like Yutaka or KKM, but very very solid first pick. I think now that the spotlight is on him, I think he will have a lot of opportunities to show off how much he's improved in the past year.
Okay.
Like
Then-
sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Then I mean Nikkei, you guys know what he's capable of. Never ever loses.
Never look. The one thing
Never
he can
get
do
double
is
sweat,
lose.
man.
The
Never
one
double
thing-
sweat, man.
yeah. Only once, and it was by Dinosaur. I think it was last season.
Yeah, like I think Nikkei has a really good track record. A good pick. Taquan, I'm
Yeah.
not too sure about this. I mean because he's so new, right? Like he's new player. Like honestly, not many people know like what he's capable of doing right now. Like
I still remember he joined Arena Cup and he picked IDC, and then that's the only song that he won.
yeah, so there's like not much data on him right now. Like
Yeah,
we
that's
don't
true.
know how he's gonna perform like under pressure. But I think being a third pick, he does have quite big shoes to fill.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because okay, I think my sentiments about the same as YC. I thought Taquan might make it in the back end as like a fourth pick, not a third pick.
Not a third
Because-
pick, right?
Yeah. Because I remember watching like what was that, the Bear Cup, I think Bear Cup.
Yeah, the Bear
Like
Cup.
he's quite a common competitor at Bear Cup actually.
Mhm.
Like I think he's been there for like every single installation of BR Cup
Ever
until
since he
BPL
started
came out.
joining.
Yeah,
Ever since
until-
ever
until-
since-
until BPL came out. So he's really good.
Mm.
It's just that every time, because BR Cups the rule set is basically arena or all the rounds, right? He only
much.
ever wins his own songs for
He's
BR
that
Cup.
kind-
Like
he's that kind of
like don't like don't get me wrong, he's actually really good. He manages to consistently make it out of like the first round, but
Mhm.
on the second round onwards, right, he only gets 2 points and calls the day, that kind of thing. So I was quite surprised that he was actually third pick.
I third pick,
I'm quite looking forward to how he's gonna do for this season of APL.
It could be a
I do hope that he's actually improved from his performances in BR Cup. Yeah. As for
Basically, the only
Shiro,
he's the only density guy here, basically, and he didn't
As
really get to
for-
show that off. last
As
time.
for Shiro, it's like I think like as the density guy, right? Like you need to be able to like fight with like the tier ones, but his density is like
It's pretty crazy though.
it's
Not gonna
crazy,
lie.
but it's not like
Consistent.
on
It's not consistent.
not consistently on the level of like the tier ones, which is quite
Yeah,
drawback.
like
And especially as like I think as a like a draft 4, I think most people like they expect the draft 4 to be like more of like a timing kind of guy.
Usually
Although
it's a timing guy.
although like the other 3 guys are like really good at timing, but I think Shiro's a bit like not as consistent when it comes to like timing. His main strength is more like doing like 24ths, then like high speed 16s kind of thing.
Yeah, the
Like that's
bursty stuff.
that's really his like bread and butter. Like his burst, like being way better than most BPL, most other BPL like players at bursty stuff. But most of the time, like he kind of loses out on like the easy timing parts of the song.
Pretty
Like
much.
you can see him quite I won't say consistently. I was saying like he's more like vulnerable to like just like getting like just some random grade on like a 8th chord, 8th chord somewhere. Like when the chords is just 8th chords all the way, then he'll just randomly get a not flashing grade. Then you're just like, dude, what the heck, man?
Dude. I mean,
So-
like last season, we also saw Shiro didn't really play a lot of like dense stuff. He was actually playing a lot of like weird stuff, like his win on routing against Koribe. Remember when he played Space Fight against Nuccio, and then he couldn't really get anything against Nuccio, unfortunately, because Nuccio's just the court god, you know. It's kind of like that, I guess.
So I think overall in general, like their team is kind of set up in the same way as GiGO, but there are a lot more question marks over, to me lah, at least there are a lot more question marks over Supernova and how their team is going to perform compared to GiGO.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
This is. I think you feel the same way too, YT. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I think Taquan is a bit unproven. We don't know how he's going to perform.
Could be the new
It'd be
BPL
great.
god.
Yeah, he could be.
He could be the new Koribe, man.
Yeah. Like you never know. I mean, Taquan, he's really good at gachi. He has videos of him playing Nageki on S-Ran.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. He's and as you can see from his what do you call that? His quote? I don't know. His tagline.
The
Yeah.
Vault of Ibaraki, yes.
Yeah. He's very good at big dog balls.
Oh! shit, no
Oh, that's
wonder.
where the name come from.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ almighty, no wonder. Okay,
Damn.
okay. Well,
Okay.
yeah. Okay. Well, we'll see if Supernova Tohoku have the metal to like continue on. And then for all that everyone's been waiting for, the Party Rockers are coming up, and oh my goodness, what a team this is. So, Tradz, unfortunately, on BPL Season 2, the Party Rockers themselves unfortunately didn't really have a great season, so to speak. They had a team that was on paper pretty good, but unfortunately, I think there were a lot of like parts of the team that didn't perform as they would like. So the team last time was Rio, Popojite, Tatsu, and Nori. So Rio and Tatsu did well. Popojite unfortunately could not come up with that, and Nori, he's always been more of like a public, more like he's a good player, but he's more of a meta picker, the strategist, because he's Mr. Data, has the BPI, he created the BPI, and I would say he's a very, very good social media presence for the team. He's a big reason why everyone once kind of found out about Tradz, because he's one of the few BPL players who can speak English. But now Tradz Season 3, they have completely changed their team, and I do think now they have a ridiculously overpowered team. Okay,
Yeah.
so from the top, ladies and gentlemen, the Breaker, KKM. Some people call him by his real name, which is those initials. I won't reveal it. You can just find out yourself. It's very easy. And some people say that KKM stands for the Korean Killing Machine, because yes, this guy he's just one class above every single player in this draft, and I was so surprised that no other team has decided to take him. I understand the thing about team images and how the aces have already been pretty much tied to the image of the team itself, but I would say that picking KKM is like kind of a no-brainer. It kind of just overtakes everything. He's the breaker for a reason. So, and then on second we have the drum and bass man. I forgot what was the last kanji in his thing. It's Rio.
Suji.
Drum and bass Suji.
Yeah, drum and Suji. Yeah.
And the third draft pick is Hachishaku, the downtown. I believe it was. I tried to Google what the last three kanji were, and then
Hold on,
it was like craftsman. It was like a craftsman or like something like that.
No, technician.
The downtown technician Hachishaku, and finally on draft number 4, the demon of accuracy Raito. After being shafted from 2 BPL drafts, he has finally become a BPL player in season 3. So I would say that this team is like insane. Rio was already a player that every team was like fighting for, but unfortunately in season 2 he kind of met his match a few times, despite being a first draft, and I think that's why his stock kind of dropped. But KKM, Rio, that's already all the 12s in the game taken care of. Hachishaku is like all the 10s. Hachishaku and Raito are probably like 8 to 11 all taken care of. So yeah. But yeah, it's like, yeah, I kind of just don't know. This team, pretty much, I feel like they have the chance to just win the entire thing just by the eye test alone. I think you guys feel the same way, right? I don't know. Do you?
You want to start first, wisely?
Yeah, I think KKM is here. He broke 2DX, so
the breaker. Well, he's the breaker.
he did break 2DX. I think,
Yeah.
but I think there's only so much he can do, right? Because of
That's true.
how many times you can use him.
Sometimes you can use him. If other people might be better in other strategies like soft land and scratch.
He does have weaknesses, contrary to what people might think. He does have weaknesses. It's just that even though it's his weakness, he's still insanely good. He's just not top tier.
He's just not like he's not the top 1%, but he's like the top 5%, which is like Other than scratch, I think scratch is the one thing KKM is not really good unless there's like buttons beside it.
I think he's good at everything that's not B-side bunny. I'm not sure how he does on B-side bunny actually.
Surprising. Yeah, I see that's
Even
one
part
thing
2?
Sorry?
Even part 2?
Part 2 is
even part 2.
He's really good at part 2.
Oh shit.
shit.
Really good at part 2.
He's good at sorry?
So only part 1 he not that good lah.
Like,
because it's the rolls, it's the rolls. You do the
we don't really
rolls.
know how good he is. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He doesn't really play that, I guess that's the point. But like, all the scratch rec he does are like Dolce, Charm, Bai, Koribe, and so it's a bit hard to.
He does have Be Quiet.
Be quiet, but you know why be quiet? But the only reason why he has Be Quiet is because there's two buttons every scratch. And then he has Overkill, and that part is a really, really nasty scratch section, I would say.
I think he also recently took back Peerless Under Heaven from Dolce again, right?
And then Dolce took it back again 2 streams ago.
Yeah. I think TAITO is shaping up to be a very solid team. I'm not sure how Raito is going to perform under pressure. He is good. I don't think he plays very much at offline tournaments. I haven't really seen him much.
Really?
He's an arena man, right? As far as I know.
Yeah, he's an arena man, yeah.
Nagisa.
Yeah.
He okay, talking about Raito in an offline tournament, right? I'm not sure if he went to that Playhouse Arena Cup. I'm not sure if he was there. But he's also like Takon, he's like very regular competitor at BR Cup. And at BR Cup he's like semi-finalist easily every time. Every time.
Pretty good though. Then
yeah.
I guess I wonder why he wasn't picked earlier, but I guess every other team just had the it factor. Even back then, right, when he was doing arena, right, it's like he's known apparently among the Japanese community, right, Raito was known for never ever picking 12, ever, and he still wins all the top rankers at 11s and below. Oh, so I guess he's their low level guy. Same like Hachishaku basically. But Hachishaku is pretty powerful too. He's got like I remember there was one period where every time I see Hachishaku I would see something like the Brave Must Die or something because he can play.
Oh yeah.
Hachishaku though, yeah. Sorry?
Also, like Hachishaku is like strangely really good at all the Camilla featuring Nanahira songs. like he plays I think like Hard Bass Festa and Polka Mania for warm up. Like apparently that's his like warm up routine. Like every
he's the master
single
of his craft. This is the
every
downtown.
single time like he apparently from what I've seen on some like Twitter accounts, right, like he every time he goes into the arcade, right, like his first credit, right, or either always have like Polka Mania or Hard Bass Festa.
Jesus Christ.
Confirm. It's like one of these two. So I think it's safe to say like he's really good at these two songs plus all the other Kaminana songs.
And
Or
he's
maybe minus Bass Rock Freaks Legendaria, maybe. I don't know. But
screw that song.
other than that I think he's like, yeah, he's really good at that kind of song.
I think it's pretty surprising to see Tradz wanting to take Hachishaku because Hachishaku was in season 2 and he was part of Tohoku, and unfortunately I would say he was a participant who didn't really win very often. He would win his song picks, but he wouldn't win he wouldn't double sweep his match, I would say. So
maybe I thought he was like overachieving for being a third pick. He
was a pretty senator pick. He basically is the kind of guy who would win his song but not really win the other song. So that's the thing.
Yeah, but the thing is that when I was like looking back all his matches, right, he was like matching up against like category specialists and he was still winning.
So
He was winning. He was playing against like draft picks, the like second draft and first draft, and he was still winning on his own songs. So to me, I think that's like a pretty big like overachieving for being a third pick, honestly speaking. So I thought like, hey, Tradz did pick up a really good like third pick. Right?
I think he's good.
Like he's definitely good value.
He's definitely BPL. He's definitely a BPL like mainstay, I would say, as a. But like yeah, I was pretty surprised, I guess. Well, he does go to the Taito where Dolce keeps going, so maybe Taito. This guy can just easily go. Oh, but that's a Game Panic arcade actually. Funny enough. Some of the titles are actually belong to the Game Panic group. I actually don't know how. The title F Stations or something. So yeah. But yeah. Do you guys think they're good? Do you guys think they could win? Pretty much, just because of that guy in the left, the guy in the middle, and everyone else basically.
Of course, man. Like, I'm pretty sure like they got Hachishaku and Raito because like they got their own songs that like I said, I think I was like saying like alluding to like they have all their own even their pick and fourth pick have their own pocket picks.
So yeah.
And they are really good. So as long as like they can maintain their like own picks, I'm pretty sure like Rio and KKM can like
clean
can double sweep the opponent on their side.
The 12, yeah. KKM and Rio just overpowered. Do you think he can win? Do you think they're like final? Do you think the team's gonna just carry the cup? Why is it maybe?
I think they'll be in the finals.
That's pretty solid already, I would say.
I think so.
just pretty solid.
I think they'll be in the finals. Yeah.
Okay. So another thing, right? I think one final note before you move on, right?
Sure.
KKM also said in the interview with Somori and Kentan, he said that if he gets drafted by any team, he wants to like double sweep all his opponents. That's his goal for PPL.
So basically, the season 2 Yutaka.
Yeah, he wants to double sweep everyone.
That's gonna be hard.
That's how the topic of like who are you scared of in the PPL came out, because he sees three players that will potentially stop him from double sweeping. It's Yutaka, Uchi, and Peace.
Yes.
These three players.
Yes, I'm terrified of Peace. Every day I wake. I hope I don't get to A1 so I don't match Peace in Arena. But yeah, Jesus Christ, that is the Black League. This is gonna be pretty competitive, I would say. I actually don't know who's gonna win because everyone's pretty uniquely kitted and they could probably. But I would say I don't really trust about if GiGO can get out of this group as unscathed as they did last time maybe. But yeah, we're gonna move on to the W League. The Lightning Warriors rumbling around the world. It's Team Game Panic, the yellow team. So they had like, so they had to change two members. Their third draft, Koshigaya, moved to the Game Panic company as his main employment, and he's basically a higher up
Esports
now.
manager.
He's the manager.
He's
the
an
manager for
esports
the team.
manager now.
He's the manager for the team.
No, he's really esports manager. He's like doing like esports, all the esports like related stuff for Game Panic now. So like he's appearing on the DDR side of things.
He's appeared on the draft basically. He also was in the draft for Game Panic.
Yep.
So yeah, he basically the suit that you're gonna see for Game Panic on coming forward is
suit.
a guy you know.
The suit.
The suit. Okay, so and then Masa, he himself decided to not continue. So now Game Panic is left with a hole in these like draft 3 and draft 4. So they have employed the services of two other people. So we're gonna start with the shining 2DX idol, Mikamo. He didn't do that well in BPLS 2, I would say. Like he's been upping his playtime considerably. He's streaming like as often as Mitsuba now, which I think actually Mitsuba is probably the reason why he's streaming so much now. So like, you know, he's like he did stream before when he was like in season 1, season 2, but after BPL season 2, I just saw this man stream constantly. He just became a consistent content creator. So which is why I was thinking like, yeah, maybe Mitsuba put him up to this and all that. So helped him a lot. So you know. The second man, the man raised by Two Step, it's Peace. This guy is kind of the unsung hero last season.
Mm-hmm.
He's too good at anything below 12. Even some 12 he's actually pretty good. He actually takes arenas from Dolce, so that's fucked up. Ladies and gentlemen, that is fucked up. I have to say. If you
he's
were
really good at he's really good at like Macho Monkey.
Macho.
It's
he
good
has the world record for Say Yeah.
That's crazy, Macho Monkey.
Yeah, Say Yeah.
He has the world record for Say Yeah, which is like, what?
I mean, he had like world record for Big Dog also, right? Before, was it
It was
KKM?
for a long time, then I think
Yeah.
someone took it. Yeah.
Was it KKM? Was it KKM or Yutaka or Dolce?
I think you roll a dice. It's
It's a good chance it's KKM.
Yeah.
You roll the dice.
Anyway, he was like the world record holder for like Big Dog for like the longest time.
And he can max his 10s and 11s like it's drinking water. So this guy, you know, if KKM is scared of you, you've done something right. So Game Panic are pretty good to still have his services. The third drafter, the high BPM Koshigaya, the man who invented his unique style that most players still play. His name is Takashi or Takas. So you know, this is, if you see some of his scores, this guy used to stream 2DX for like hours. He would just play 2DX for like maybe 6 or 8 hours or something, and then in between he might get something ridiculous, like, you know, he's one of those people who can like play Diavolo and Thor's Hammer quite well. You know, those people who if you give a level Cordy level 11, he might just max -5 or something like that. So, you know, I would say that he's actually an upgrade from Koshigaya, because Koshigaya, I would say, still has kind of behind, but at the same time I know that Takas is kind of a grinder kind of player, so you know, I don't know whether he'll be as effective as people think he is, but you know, this is gonna be his first foray into being competitive, so we have to just see what's gonna happen there. And then the final man from Supernova Tohoku, 2 seasons, he is now Game Panic 3rd season. It's the Trickstar Fripp. He was very impressive in season 1, I would say. He actually kept his place quite well for season 2. But season 2, I would say he started to falter. But I would wager that's because everyone else got so much better, and you know, he just couldn't really keep up that well. So I was pretty surprised to see Game Panic deciding to take him too. So I do think this team is pretty good. It's pretty standard Game Panic, but I don't know if they're gonna be like winners too. It really depends on Mikabo and Takaes, I would say. So because Peace is guaranteed, you already know that this guy's insane. So Mikamo didn't do so well in season 2, so which is why we're a bit worried about their chances. You guys feel that way too?
I think to build on the point about like Peace, right? Like
Yes.
he's been like playing all the 11s and below on non-ran.
So like he's
So I think he's been like focusing his practice solely on like BPL, because as you can see from the past 2 seasons, right, like anyone who's like good at mirror / non-rank, right, you hold a really big advantage over all the other players who only play random.
Because that's the meta. Yeah, that's the meta. Because with mirror and non-random, you will have a consistent chart. You'll have a chart that you always can play. So
Yeah. So I think that he definitely maybe not improve as he definitely has improved as a player, but I think more than that he has like improved on his like tournament like training. So he's more better prepared for BPL than ever before, I feel.
I see.
Then as for the only question mark I'll have about this team is like Fripp, because I think as like what Southside said, Fripp didn't perform that well last season. He in fact, I think based on my memory, like firstly he didn't appear that much. Secondly, he lost quite a few of his own songs last season, if I'm not wrong.
That's true. And then the fight against Dinosaur, he didn't stand a chance.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
Dinosaur.
It's
Dinosaur was like the second best player according to statistics last season also. So
Yes, he was only below Yutaka in efficiency. And third is Nikkei. He's actually beat the Iceman.
yeah, so I think Game Panic team is pretty much the same Game Panic team it has always been for the past 2 seasons, but with a lot more question marks moving forward. So I am hoping that they'll do well, but
I'm
have
not
to
really
see
too
lah.
sure.
Especially since like again, I think Wisely made a point about Game Panic a long time ago. Like all 4 of them are damn good at timing. Even the last Game Panic team, like all 4
Yeah,
of them damn good
Masa
at
and
timing.
Koshigaya definitely.
Yeah, even Masa and Koshigaya is like they damn good at timing. But then when then you see them in like BPL, it's like they will falter at their own picks. They aren't as consistent as what people think they are. So I think this team is like pretty much the same Game Panic kind of style team. So I hope they work on like their consistency. If they are more, I think if they are more consistent, they will have like more success. But as it stands out, they need to prove themselves a bit before we start. I get more confident in like their chances. It's like a big question mark for me, at least for this team. What do you think about it, Wesley?
Yeah, I think the theme of Game Panic is still the same.
Just kind of like a bit different. A bit different.
It's like same but different.
Same
like-
but different.
Yeah, they replaced like half the team, but honestly, like I think the strengths and weaknesses of the team are pretty much still the same. I don't know how well Takasu is going to perform in BPL. He hasn't appeared in offline tournaments in like so long. I think the last time he appeared was, other than this year, I think this year he appeared in like Arena.
KC
or-
2013, I think.
Yeah, the
Final
last
case.
No, the most recent. I think either Arena Cup.
Maybe the G.
But last year-
Maybe the Gpala.
No. Last year there was like this like what only like Kansai tournament for all the Kansai people.
Ah, right, yeah.
Yeah. Takasu was there.
Yeah, but before that, the last time he appeared was like KC Sparta.
KC Spada, yes. KC Spada with
Yo, he
Koke.
picked Diablo, man.
Yeah, with
and lost.
Keicha, with Keicha, Dolce, you know.
Yeah, and
beat-
lost, man. He
beat
picked
Spada.
Diablo and lost, man.
Yeah,
It's so
Yutaka-
sad.
Oh, Nikkei was fun fact. Nikkei was in the KC. He didn't advance very much. But yeah, Jesus, it's just a very similar team, as we can say. I think there's not much to be said. Of course, we have called Takasu or Takas the high BPM Koshigaya just because he is so good at like those like bursty nonsense songs like Diavolo or Taurus or something like that. And even Mare Nectaris, he has a 3.9k with his playstyle. I'm just like, well, yeah, he made the playstyle himself, so he made the playstyle famous. So I do think if Game Panic can advance to a later stage, Takasu would be able to show off a bit more of his own ability, but I don't know at this point in time if that's gonna be able to possible. But yeah, fingers crossed for them. So I guess there's since we don't really have much to say. It's a very very similar team. We're gonna go to a team that's changed once again. hoping to reach the playoffs this time. Magical Miracle Illusion, Team Selcat. So yeah. Also, this is another team where 2 members change, but I do think their chances instantly overnight just change with who they pick. So Selcat really, really poor showings in 2DX PPL, sadly. Season 1 was very, very ill-fated. They just unfortunately couldn't. Basically, it was the Seiryu show in Season 1.
What are you talking about? Season 2 was also a serious show, man.
Not as bad as before, I would say. Ansa and Exit did do like have
That's
their
true.
own moments. So it's not as much of a Seiryu show, but it's still like, you know, a 60, you know, 60%, 90, you know, it was 90% in Season 1 and 60% in Season 2. More than half is basically someone else's show. So, you know, but now with how they've drafted this time, it's very, very interesting, and I feel like now they do have a chance to make it to the playoffs with this team. So we're gonna be starting with of course, draft 1, the ever-present fixed option magician himself, Seiryu. The second man from Osaka's last hope. He became Osaka's first hope in Season 2. He was the first draft of Tohoku. Now he's the second draft of Silcat. It's Velvet. The former Yabai man, the guy who is trying to get to the top again after the second Korean in the tournament after like KKM. It's leaked.
Also former Dekamara Gaming member.
Former
Yeah.
Nakamura esports team member.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's the second Korean and the second foreigner in this tournament, basically. Even though he basically is just a Japanese person at this point, he has, you know, for many years he's already been living in Japan for a while. Went back to Korea for COVID because of COVID, then recently reacquired residence again. Now he joined again, and yeah, picked third. He isn't as good as he was before, I would say. At his peak, he basically gave Yutaka a run for his money in KAC. But now I think because of the changing situations and such, and you know, he had to focus, he kind of like reprioritized different things in his life. I would say him falling to third was pretty surprising, but he's still the first pick in third draft, which basically means he's still considered super sought after. So now I think, now licked here. And the final man, another person who was retained, the Prince of Charge, Kido. Unfortunately, he was a particularly weak fourth pick during Season 2. He did get some wins, but it really, really was not enough to justify his pace. That was why I was wondering, like, why did they go with Kido when, like, you know, there's more other players in the draft? But, you know, we really wouldn't know why they did this, but just because of Velvet and Lake. Velvet was super consistent in Season 2, I would say, in the low levels, and Tohoku definitely picked him first because they saw something in him that can get them points, and so far Velvet did deliver. It's just unfortunately the team wasn't deep enough to make it to a deep run in the playoffs, I would say. So
Also, I think the reason why Velvet didn't perform as well as he was supposed to do as a first draft, right? Because like a lot of the categories, right, it didn't fall in like Supernova Tohoku's favor. So it's very hard for Velvet to to his like maximum potential. That's what happened. That's what happened. Yeah. That's what happened. If my memory serves me right, like that's what happened to Tohoku. That's why a lot of like the tough matchup like tanking, right, ended up being like either Hachishaku or Willow.
Yeah, and Hachishaku and Willow could only be used so much. So, you know.
Yeah.
But now you know, Velvet. But now with his addition, I feel like Silcat can contend and scratch because Velvet is one of the prime scratchers in the DPL draft pool, I would say. He only lost his scratch matches to Tatsu, who is another beast in scratching because Tatsu picked Be Quiet, and that's basically a chord song as a scratch song. So yeah. Like I said, I do feel like now Silcat has what it takes to reach the playoffs just by the addition of these two players other than Licked. But like Licked, I've seen Licked play in the team reveal, right? Like when they revealed the current Silcat team, and yeah, Licked is good, no doubt. He's just not as good as I thought he was before, or everyone else has just played like 3 times the amount of credits he did, and you know, built up their power from there. And you know, retaining Kido, I mean, like, I'm very open to the idea of Kido becoming a really, really good, like, low-level specialist for this team, but, like, he will really need to, like, do Leisureland style glow up or something, so, you know. So, yeah.
I do think Kido performed a bit better towards the end of season 2. Like he took quite a while to get off the ground, but I think like once he did, I think he performed pretty good, and I think he has been playing a lot. I know he took first on one of the weeklies recently.
Oh,
Okay.
Mesa, I think.
Oh, Mesa,
shit.
Mesa first.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
That's pretty sick, man.
That's really
yeah.
good.
He took first on that song, and he got a score like the day the weekly started.
So we got the God run already. Day one,
So nobody else bothered to get win.
I don't know, but I do think he is in a good position to perform a lot better this season.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about the other two? Wisely? I would say that the biggest problem with Silkcat was that Seiryu is not a low-level player at all, and he really, really needs his team to like cover that circles. And you know, with Velvet and Licked, I think that's actually covered pretty well now. Even up to 12.
I think in season 1 they had a huge problem, which is Junta, and I think
it's okay, guys.
and I think in season 2 they just had really, really bad luck, and yeah, like I think 2 of the players took a while to get off the ground.
Yeah, I think it was Ansa was not really like, I think Ansa was struggling with something around the tournament time, and Exit unfortunately couldn't really carry the team himself. He definitely is best as a supporting player. And you know, Seiryu's biggest problem is still there. He still cannot play low levels. The only reason he lost to Leisureland, I would say, is because Seiryu lost his entire match against G. You remember that symbolic match where G won, and then he popped off so hard he threw his earphones. So I was thinking like, yeah, it's like very, very unfortunate, but like, you know, and Seiryu in the meanwhile, I do see that he's kind of still sticking to his own skill set. So I think the addition of help from Velvet and Licked are very, very needed, and I do think it's enough. I do really like this team. If they don't make it to the playoffs, it's just cursed at this point.
See how it goes, man.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's good to hear that Kido is stepping up, and I do feel like if he has to make something right now, it has to be him. It has to be now. This is like his last chance, and I think everyone's gonna look at him now. So I guess that's Silkcat. So we're gonna move on to the champs, aiming to the top with Red Power. It's team round 1. So I would say that that the supporting cast of round 1 still has their own kind of problems, even from season 1 to season 2. They have their own like issues like throughout the season, and I think it's consistent. Some of them are just not as consistent as I think the players would like Yutaka, Beyond the Apex, this guy, perfect win rate. Can he continue? He's basically just looking to continue his win streak once the season begins. Good at everything. Swept all of the personal awards in the season 2, by the way. So basically, he's the only person there with 4 medals. So yeah, then the second draft, Kure. Yeah, Kure is great. He's very, very good. He's one of the only people who can make the claw playstyle look super good. But the big problem is that he does still fall into pressure a lot. If you noticed in the BPL season 2 finals against Leisureland, Kure effectively only took 1 song against Dinosaur, and you shouldn't be doing that as like, you know, one of the favorite teams. So I do think there's still kind of a lens to see. We're still evaluating his performance under a lens, but if he can be as consistent as, you know, the Nikkei or the Dinosaur, it'll be really, really great for round 1, of course. Igawa, this guy, super good, but like there were times where he just choked really, really badly. He's kind of had moments where he choked. You guys remember that match against Game Panic where he completely choked the Gradius full speed bench at the last moment, you know. But I do think he deserves his spot here, and you know, he's the mood maker. He was the guy dancing around during the round 1 tournament when he won that 1 point against Ipin. But yeah,
he's like the biggest meme in round 1, man.
The biggest meme man, I would say.
Yeah, he's the meme man in round 1, man.
And
if I remember correctly, he has been like the meme man for the longest time, man. Like not even like during BPL, like even before BPL, like
he's just a funny guy.
He's just a funny guy. Like he occasionally like will pop out in like some other guy's stream, and then he will just like clown on them.
Yeah, just like hey, hey,
Yeah.
what's up, man?
Like kind of similar to Mr. Jinja Yutafo guy, Mr. Jinja Yutafo.
Oh my god.
It kind of similar to him, but Igawa just a way better player than Jinja Yutafo. So yeah.
BPL tier, and I would say he's one of those players who took a bit to get running, but when he did get running, he did contribute to the team in a positive way in the end. And unfortunately for the fourth draft, they did not choose to retain Makoji, and they have replaced him with Naga-chan, the gamer.
Gamer. Even though the kanji there's not exactly gamer, but
the kanji is not exactly gamer, but it's basically means gamer. And Igawa is now the original Honatsugi style.
Yeah.
But yeah, the gamer, Naga-chan. An interesting choice to replace Makoji, but I do think Naga-chan has performed a lot better recently. He was in the Arena Cup. I was watching it, and he did take part in the Arena Cup. This was before the BPL draft, I believe. So I would say he's very similar, but still better time. Maybe a better consistent timer.
Oh, he's way better, man. He's way better than Makoji at timing, man.
Because Makoji only contributed basically he only started giving points around the end, the butt end of the tournament, I would say.
So think about Naga-chan, right? It's like he's really good at timing. Like he's actually way better at than Makoji at timing. The most recent example is like he, other than Arena Cup, he was like the most recent BI Cup as well. He picked Surf on the Light and got a -4/5.
-4/5
on Surf on the Light. Yeah, Surf on the Light.
Jeez, that's hard. That's hard.
-4, -5. It's basically under 5. Like 5
Under
or 4.
That's pretty ridiculous. Because Surf on the Light has that slowdown in the end.
Yeah. And yeah, he's that he was shocked in himself because like he was like, hey, shit, I scored so high, but then the score won't be safe because
it's an event. It's in the event.
It's an event, so they So what they did, right, is they just hard reset the machine after every match, so that score never got saved on servers.
That's so sad, but yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, he's quite good. Okay, so before this Surf on the Light, right? Like he's actually quite well known for picking like diagram in Arena.
That's hard. That's a hard song.
He's like the diagram guy in Arena.
Mr.
Diagram. Yeah, that's his pocket pick.
But yeah, better timer overall. I do think of him probably he's better than Makoji overall, I would say. But but I think round one has decided to stick to this core. Yutaka obviously Kure because when the dude goes, he really goes, and Igawa because he's a net positive, and he's just a fun guy. He really good guy to have around. And Naga-chan,
I think the another reason why they picked Kure, right, is because Kure is quite good at exploring non-ran / mirror strats.
He has one of the most absurd play counts I've ever seen in.
No, so he explores the not as much as, I don't think it's as much as Dinosaur and Peace, but he explores non-ran and mirror strats for a lot of songs. One of his most recent finds, right, was Plasma Soul Night. For 1P you pick mirror.
Oh.
That's the strat for. That's his strat for Arena for Plasma Soul Night. You just pick mirror when everyone else will almost confirm pick random. You're gonna get a more consistent chart to perform.
So
and he told Yutaka about it, and then Yutaka started using the same strat.
He's also the cruncher, I guess. Well, you see his play count in cast hour. It's 2,700 something. I was like, what?
Hey, what's double yours, right? Is it or something like that? Is it double yours? Is it double
more
your
than double,
count?
more than double mine.
Shit, man.
More than double.
More
But yeah,
than
Wesley,
double.
do you think round one retaining this core and just replacing Makoji and Naga-chan was the right move?
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly because I think Naga-chan is better at timing than Makoji is. I mean, let's not talk about the other three for now. I think Naga-chan is way better at timing. I wouldn't say way better, but he is better, more consistent at timing. And the thing with Makoji is that he actually specializes, based on what I see in Arena, he specializes in like the easy to mid 12s, especially
He
like
recently got
the higher BPMs, right? Like 180 to 200. And
he
that's a
recently
niche
got
that's,
Mosaic. Yeah, he recently got Mosaic. Funny
that's a niche that's already filled by the other three players.
yeah.
So
That's true,
which
that's
is why
true.
they probably couldn't find like a niche for him to perform in for season 2.
That makes sense then. So they decided. So they just like did their thoughts and they just pretty much like It's probably better to find a specialist in another kind of like area. So
Yeah.
And Makoji did not really have the most stellar record. I would say that despite being part of a championship team, he was a net negative to the team. He couldn't. He basically didn't really get much points. He never basically swept a match, and if anything, he was swept more than he was.
Yeah.
And it was only put in like the early matches, pretty much. I don't think he ever played anything beyond the 10. I would say in the tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he is one of the kind of players that he has to warm up a lot.
Some of them do.
you know.
Some of them do.
I mean, I'm one of those players as well. Like, if you don't warm up, you really like. He's probably one of the kind of people where like, if he doesn't warm up, he doesn't get like an hour straight. He can't perform like at 100%. Yeah.
There's a lot of players who are like that, and that's why like that's another distinction from like people who can perform in a tournament setting and the people who don't really do so, because any downtime for those players is bad. And when you're in a tournament, there's a lot of downtime. You cannot just straight up go to the machine and just like start whacking your picks after you warm up. That's not really like how it works. So downtime is actually really, really crucial. So I guess that's how they saw that Makoji. So what do you think about the other three? But the other three, do you think? I think Igawa and Kure still have some growing pains to cover up to, but
I think Yutaka is. I mean, he's almost always ready to perform. Kure, he does have his off days. You can see it on his face actually, like when he has one of those.
Yeah.
I think especially like during the finals, he probably wasn't feeling it a lot.
during season
Igawa,
1.
I think even in season 2, like the finals when they
Oh
played
yeah,
against
he basically only took one from Dinosaur out of
You-
all
you-
the four
you
songs
could-
they played.
you could kind of tell he wasn't feeling it that day.
Mm.
And I think this is
No, I think Wesley was like talking about like the season 1 finals against APINA.
No, I was talking about
Yeah,
it.
not against Dinosaur. It was like the against APINA.
Against everyone pretty much, because
Yeah,
it
yeah,
was Uchi and Nikkei. Yeah. He fought Uchi
Yeah,
and Nikkei and didn't get a single point.
Yep.
Yeah, so I think that's actually a quality that's very important, like being able to perform like anytime. You can see that in like people like Seiryu, Yutaka, KKM, I suppose so.
Corrive, man.
Yeah, there are some people who can just do it, and there are
With
others who
on
can't.
command,
And
on
I think
command.
it's
Mr.
like
G.
it's
Mr.
like
G.
the tournament quality that I think some teams are looking out for.
Mm.
Yeah.
Igawa? So you were talking about
Igawa, I feel like Igawa didn't really get to show his strengths last season.
He was the third option after all. So.
Yeah. I do hope he has more chance to perform this season. He's really good at 12s. I believe does he still have the world record for Aftermath?
It was taken away from him, but it shouldn't have taken that long for a lot of players, I would say.
It took really long, like
It took
months,
really long.
I think.
Months. It was months. He
Yeah.
had that one Reki die for months.
Yeah, and I think in this day and age, like most world records don't survive for more than a few weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except unless you're colorful cookie or idol, then it will take years.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, Naga-chan. So I guess Naga-chan was probably the right choice for this team, and if Yutaka is on fire throughout the entire tournament, he would probably be really good at it too.
Like I do see round one probably getting to the finals again. I think.
So,
I think
sorry
so.
guys.
I agree.
Oh, sorry guys. Sorry, I have to deal with something. Alright, okay, so we can probably move on from team round 1 and yeah, we can go on to our final team right here. Their title is always so long. The star at the top of the team, I don't know. The title is always so long. I never actually got to translate it properly, but this is our final team of the day, Team Leisureland. The biggest surprise from BPL S2, I would say. So they basically retained their core from BPL Season 1, and they made it to the finals with a very, very good win-loss record on top of it. Basically, they've gone into such a hot streak that they didn't even really need to win the last 2 matches. They just basically could have rested up the rest of their players or prioritized something else. And you know what? I guess with that performance, they felt like their time's a charm because Leisureland now has retained all their members. But I think if this team doesn't win this season, that's it for them. You know, there's definitely gonna be a reshuffle for season 4, unless they will really, really just keep it together for like season in the future. So we're gonna start with the first draft, the Bemani Maestro, Ipin, the man who rode Fever Robo, and the efficiency king of season 2, Dinosaur, the child of 2DX, G, and it's probably a bad translation, but I think it's kind of correct. The personification of the tenacity to win, Mr. Jojo, Unamune. So I guess I felt like of course, if a team has gone that far, it is I guess like I would say it's not a weird thing to want to keep them together for one last try, and sometimes they feel maybe third time's the charm, and this time I would say that Dinosaur, G, and Unamune overperformed last season, and they really, really like made sure that this thing. Ipin was, I think, the only like one kind of like still kind of the same. He did better, but he's still kind of the same level of performance. But the heroics of the heroics of the man right here, who bears a resemblance to the man two blocks below me, is pretty crazy. I would say he like Nagisa said, he is the second most effective player. He even beat Mr. Efficiency Nikke. So and G, he actually we thought that APINA, remember when that match against APINA versus Leisureland, the first match where APINA actually like lost pretty convincingly, and we thought that Uchi was gonna wipe the floor with G, but no, G actually like stayed on and managed to get the points for them to just straight up win. So I was thinking like, will this be their season though? It's just a lot. We don't really have much to say. Everyone's got their own strengths, and I'm just wondering if they will have the final factor to just win.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I think the team is still really strong, but at the same time, like every other team has upped their game like so much.
Considerably. I would even say that there's no weak teams here. Even Silcat, who would probably be considered usually the weakest team, they don't have that anymore now. They don't have that distinction anymore now.
Yeah, and I don't know how well Unamune and Ipin are doing right now. I mean, Dinosaur is still like hot. G is improving a lot, as we mentioned this like last season. Like he's improving so fast, and he's still doing that.
He's very young. He's very young. He's like around he's like Nucho and Taquan are like around his age, I would say, and those are two players.
They're like 20 this year.
20 or something.
Yeah.
And then
so
Ipin, go ahead.
I think Ipin, I feel like he has been in too many like high pressure situations, and every time like didn't really perform like as expected. So like for example in season 1 he drew with what was his name? Tenin
and Koshiga, last time.
He drew with Tenin, and that like I think it was Vanessa Legendary.
Vanessa. Tenin Gachi Oshi his way to that Vanessa.
Yeah, like that cost them like the quarterfinal spot, I think.
Yeah, they did.
If I remember correctly.
Because we were thinking like, oh, Ipin's gonna beat Tenin, and then Tenin just picked Vanessa and won.
Yeah, it's strange, right? Because Ipin is actually known for being good at gachi.
Yeah, true. He's just not really good at pressure.
Yeah, then I think, in season 2 as well, like there were situations where he was like just like those high pressure situations, and didn't really perform as expected. So I hope I do know he has been trying to work on that. Like he tweeted about it recently, where he's trying to optimize his scores for like the first 3 credits of every session. Like
That's actually
something like that.
interesting.
Yeah, and I think a lot of players have been trying to do that now, actually.
First 3 credits has to be the best 3 credits
Yeah.
of the session, basically. But yeah, it been too many tough situations. Like the only reason why, it's one of the reasons. Like, if Ipin like lost to Igawa in that season 2 finals, the pressure probably really got to him. Like he lost like a song to Igawa, and I mean, like there was that incident where he apologized by shaving his head because I think he like failed the song. He just quit early by instinct. I'm not pretty sure.
Yeah, it was on
Bear Cup?
NA, I think.
Or was it NA, or did he just quit the song? Just like quit it?
Like he just did play because he took like way too long to set his screen number and stuff, and the song just started.
That's what is that what happened?
Yeah.
But I guess Dinosaur still machine. I've seen him play arena with Dolce, and he makes Dolce sweat. He makes Dolce sweat. Which
So Dolce has actually publicly said that he never really wants to fight with Dinosaur in arena ever, man.
But then sometimes when you play arena, you just get the same 3 guys over and over again. So and Unamune, he's good at watch out. He's good at Jojo, and he is kind of like a Nori. He is kind of like a Nori and a Kentan kind of role, in a Nori and Kentan kind of role. But he just has very, very consistent performance, which is why Leisureland still really, really trusts him. And he picks Jojo. If you don't counterplay Jojo, you're dead.
So I was like talking with another local Kaidan, Wayne, about this, about Unamune. Like I remember talking about him during last season when Leisureland was doing them well. Like I think Wayne brought a very good point about Unamune. Like when you put in Unamune in his like in the categories where he got like his niche picks, right? He confirm without fail will win his own song for sure. It's not even like the other guy has a chance to win his song. Like the other guy confirm lose Unamune's pick. And that's a really strong like strength for Leisureland because they got Dinosaur and G to win in their own categories. Like Dinosaur and G can like double sweep their categories. And last season I think EP only double swept like the one of the first stages, like the level 10 or something like that.
I think which is funny actually, because you shouldn't be having this many doubts about your first draft, but like
it's like in the back of my mind for this draft, right, for Leisureland, right, like I was like thinking like they might want to take a shot in the dark, like get KKM as their first draft, because honestly speaking, this team is really, really good. If your first draft was KKM, then you just change EP out of KKM, and then like Leisureland is like easy, almost easy finals, man.
Hey, but don't underestimate the bond of the boys.
I know.
The boys.
I know, right?
The boys, bro. You should see what they've been doing in the Leisureland team. They've been printing like, those like bromides, or you usually would take bromides of like singers, like those male singers, those boy bands, and everyone in the team got it. And everyone looks fucking swag in it, so the boys has to say.
So as for Leisureland, like although you can say like all the other teams have improved, I do think that Leisureland is still in the same situation as last season. Even back then in the last season, I thought that they have a pretty like good outside chance of like making it deep, and they really made it damn deep.
They legit made it to the finals, which is
they made it to the finals. So I think everyone was surprised, but I wasn't that surprised, honestly speaking. Like I was surprised that they clean sweep all their matches for like the first 5 matches or something like that. Like that one I was surprised, but I wasn't surprised that they made it as deep as they did. for last season.
I mean, I understand. Yeah.
As compared to like most of the Japanese like Twitter accounts I was reading, like they were like, what the heck happened to Leisureland? Then I was like, it's just Leisureland. They performing to their strengths now lah.
They put something in their water. They put something in the water.
So I think it's going to be the same. It's going to be the same thing for them this season. Like Leisureland, like if the categories fall in their way, if the matchups fall in their way, they're definitely gonna make it, man. Like it's the same team, man.
Pretty much.
Like this team, honestly speaking, can even beat like round 1 and TAITO on a good day. Honestly speaking.
Perhaps if that, of course, if the categories right and such.
On the categories, not even talking about categories. Like even if you like on a good day, if like all 4 of them are performing at their top of the game, right? Like they are a force to be reckoned with, even with like the 2 aforementioned like front runners for the finals, which is like round 1 and TAITO. Like I think this team can even like win them even. Yeah.
Interesting perspective to put, but yes, I think it is very valid because we have seen this team go such a long way. But I do think this is gonna be the absolute last chance for them. Like if they don't, if they don't outright win, I think this team is gonna just be done. Maybe they'll keep some core players, but I think they'll start removing players that don't really suit up to their future image because I do believe there is I do feel that there's a bit of a mind to kind of like change up the teams each season too, because we do like seeing the same boys stay, but at the same time, if we're just gonna have like repeats of the same league again, it's gonna be unfortunate for the other people because there's still a lot of people that didn't get picked. The first American to make it to the draft, Phoenix, unfortunately didn't make it. Even though we thought that he was gonna be like a fourth Tradz pick, but Tradz went with Raido and all that. We've seen some past people like Keel. We thought Keel was gonna make it back because he's gotten so much better, but Keel wasn't selected. I think the sting from his poor performance in season 1 still rang true. There's people who just couldn't stay because of reasons beyond being a player. I don't want to just straight shoot, but it's pretty much RKS32 Junta. We're never gonna see him in the BPL anymore. Not only because of how he played, but apparently how he acted too. And it's just unfortunate to see some players not be able to make it. But I do feel like for some of these teams it's a last chance, especially for Leisureland. This is their absolute last chance in this squad format before they will probably start considering like cutting off people. But I think that's probably just BPL Season 3 in the current nutshell. Matches have been recorded, and then on the 12th of July, we're gonna start watching them live together. I don't know if I'm gonna have two co-hosts with me as usual because because the 2DX I usually just have 2 people with me. But stream will be upgraded and all that. Well, maybe we can talk about the theme songs for a bit. APINA VRAMeS' song is a player.
I do want to give a shout out to one of the guys who didn't make it.
Who?
Other than the players that you mentioned, there's one other guy that I thought that almost confirmed would have made it as a minimum 4th pick.
Who was it?
This guy is Strongy.
Oh, Strongy, yeah. I think he was actually part of the draft before, right?
Yeah, no. I don't know whether it was part of the past season draft picks, but I thought that he would get in this season. He really improved his game a lot.
But Strongy,
Strongy, because he got I think max minus 15 on Starfield.
Oh, that's really good.
That's like that was before the draft. That was his biggest achievement, and everyone was talking about it because dude, what the heck, man? How do you who other than the really top rankers are going to max minus 15 the Starfield?
Yeah, there were some people more than that, just who couldn't make it. Sorry?
Yeah, and Strongy also and that's not even his main strength. His main strength is actually playing scratch songs. So I thought niche. So I thought with his niche, right, he would catch the eye of some of the teams, but
unfortunately, I think a lot of the decisions people had to change their minds just because of this one man here, the breaker. So so they had to change their minds a lot. So unfortunately, there were a lot of players who didn't make it. Hal, Junta, I mean, I guess
It's
not
not
Junta anymore, but like Phoenix,
exceptional
Strungy,
proficiency.
Strungy, Rin, and all that, But
Mr.
I
Exceptional
we're
Proficiency.
gonna sorry,
Mr. Exceptional Proficiency.
Mr. Ashasha Proficiency. I hope he can make it next season because some players probably wouldn't be continuing next season. Because I know this for one. Because I know this is gonna be KKM's like last
Only
participation.
only
For-
participation.
unless like after his Korean military service, he just decides to come back. Oh Jesus, I'm being. Yeah. Okay. All right then. So I guess we can talk a bit about. Jesus. Okay. Hold on. Give me a moment.
Yeah, I think it's. I mean, it is what it is, right?
Yeah,
Like,
it is what it is, pretty
there,
much.
there are only 32 spots.
There are 32 spots, pretty much.
Someone is not getting it.
Someone like getting. Yeah.
It is what it is, but I think even for those people who who didn't make it into the teams, a lot of them are actually really, really good. I mean, we talk about Phoenix, we talk about Strongy, Rin,
Rin the scratch god, right? Like
Ah.
I think he's like consistently picking like Rage and like Samurai Scramble Legendary in Arena or something like that, right?
yeah, and I mean,
What's
there are players like Aki who are
Aki.
really, really good. I mean,
It's just unfortunate.
a lot of it comes down to selling yourself, actually. To be
Oh
honest.
yeah, that's true. I think that's
Yeah.
I think that's like the most like
Important.
real shit about like drafting, right? You must like put yourself out there and be like, yo, I'm like a god, man.
I am good. Please.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
good, man.
Yeah, but
There were like a lot of players who I think don't have like a that strong of a social media presence, and probably beat them quite a bit.
yeah,
Mm.
unfortunate. Well, yeah. We hopefully, I guess that's probably definitely gonna change in season 4. As I said, some situations will probably change. Leisureland might blow up their team. This is KKM's like last big commitment before he goes to the army and possibly like not really continue to be as prolific as he is currently now. But well, yeah, that's pretty much
So-
the draft in a nutshell. But yeah, how
So I think like talking about like the players in the draft, like in general, right? Like I think this is like the strongest draft.
it's pretty stacked top to bottom. Just KKM.
Yeah, it's
itself
damn
is already
stacked. Like honestly, I think it's like what was he say, right? Like players that got shortlisted in the draft, right? They're all actually really good.
Mhm.
Some better than others, but
But-
some have their own niche.
Mm.
But in general, like if you the only two players I didn't know was like Aki and Guan. Takwa made it in, so
yeah,
well.
and Taquan made it. Yeah, that's crazy. Well, yeah.
then Aki also I don't know, maybe YC is like more familiar with him because like maybe Aki is like
Yeah, the A1,
maybe
the
like
A1
the
lads,
A1
part
the
of the
A1
A1 thing, the A1
Yeah.
gang.
Aki has been around for like forever, so he's been around
Mm.
since at least like Empress, if I remember correctly.
Also, it's like
Uh,
Jesus. Well,
old school
Jesus,
yeah.
player.
very, very old school, like
Mm.
from the Toshiya era. So
Wow.
Oh shit. man.
Wow, we're like I was literally a child at that time.
yeah, we are like digging very deep here.
I was literally a child. Okay, so maybe just some extra notes. The theme songs are all still by the same artist. It's Pole Rayer by Black Lolita for APINA VRAMeS. For GiGO, it's Heartbreaker by Nato. For SUPERNOVA Tohoku, it's Aizu by Camellia. It's a very big brain way to write how it is. It's like literally 1-2. And then for TAITO Station Tradz, I believe it's Get Wicked by Maozon. For Game Panic, it's Denko by Yuta Imai. For Silk Hat, it's Hat Surprise Season 3 by Omarchu. Amazing! Wow!
Had surprise but 3, man.
Wow! I couldn't believe he named it that.
Not really a head surprise anymore.
For round 1, it's Red Determination by Rough Sketch. Rough Sketch is back again. We're gonna see another season of him just looking blankly into the camera in his DJ set. And for Leisureland, it's Serious by MK, another star related. But yeah, I guess that's it for now. We can probably just say who are you gonna root for? I'm still hoping Apina does really well, but I really want to just see someone take round 1 down a peg. So hopefully, I don't want to sound like I'm this like tribalism thing, because like what's the point? Everyone's like friends here anyways. It's just like, yeah, hopefully Apina wins. Hopefully we get to see round 1 get taken down a few pegs. Maybe we can see the first Yutaka loss in a while. How about you guys?
I mean, for me, I'm still hoping Leisureland go make it far.
The
I mean,
Leisureland gang.
I've always been like a, not just Leisureland like supporter lah. I'm more like a, I do like the chances of like quote unquote like underdogs like punching way above their weight. So like
It's always a good story. It's why Silcat was really one of the popular teams in season 1 actually.
Yeah, so I'm actually looking forward to like Leisureland repeating what they did in season 2, and I'm looking forward to like GiGO doing well this season because I think they have that Leisureland flavor to them, in my opinion.
I do think they also have like the toughest chances in their league because Tohoku's pretty kitted just to get through. APINA VRAMeS is just top to bottom all rounded, and Tradz has so
I mean that's why I say like GiGO has that Leisureland flavor to them. Like they are going to come out of nowhere and like just win everyone. They have that kind of like feel to their team for me, and how it's set up like this season. Yeah.
Pretty much. No, yeah. I mean, we know that Wisely isn't really like the team guy here, but like, who do you think is gonna win? And if you have any support, we'll throw your support to who.
Who do I think is really going to win? It's hard to say. Like, I think this season the teams are a lot more even than they were last season, and
Definitely.
I really hope Game Panic does well this time.
Yeah, Mr. Yutai might. But yeah, it does.
I think they did have a really rough run in season 2. I really do hope, because I mean their players are like pretty much all top tier. I would be surprised if they don't make it into the quarterfinals.
Actually, yeah, that's true if you think about it, because.
But I mean, I could say the same for all the teams.
That's true. It's so even. It's so even. Like you said, it's so even.
Yeah, the season's like really stacked this time. I'm very interested to see like how the teams perform.
So I guess we have a chip thrown in for Game Panic here. Okay, so well, yeah, and also fun fact, the APINA uniform is basically the exact same. They just changed one stripe and they also just removed one sponsor. That's all. That's pretty funny. Anyways, I guess that's probably it for now. Wow, we went almost 2 hours. We thought it was gonna go over 2 hours, but I guess not. But yeah, again, I appreciate everyone who still comes to watch the channel. I apologize for like the lowered amount of like content recently. Been dealing with a lot of stuff. Hopefully that's gonna be settled. Hopefully that's been better settled. And I appreciate all the boys here, Nagisa and Wisely. 2 hours of your time. Thank you so much. So yeah, I guess we can probably conclude this video. It's not a stream, but yeah, we can probably just stop recording in about But yeah, just wave out to the audience, guys. Bye bye. See you around.
Bye-bye.
Take care of yourselves.
You guys.
Goodbye.